Well, hello. And who do we have here? Wow, 7 viewers already. I am feeling the love. 12. Wow. 14. All right, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing here with regards to like how this is all going to work, how it's all going to play out. So I've turned on the chat on the side, and you can type your questions in there, I believe, and it'll pop up on my screen and I'll be able to see them or read them. And I think I might be able to add some of you in. I'm not entirely sure how that works, so I guess we're going to learn together. Ooh, wow, 43 viewers. I'm extremely flattered right now, guys. Let's see if I can figure out how to do all this, huh? I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, so I apologize. Come on, folks. Anybody got any questions? Want to say anything? Help me out here. I mean, surely there has got to be something worth talking to me about.
It's important for
Wow.
bodies to look different.
Come on, folks.
You know, like the
Hi.
real
Nice to
people
see you
in the
guys.
world.
Sorry, for whatever reason, this is working for me right now.
We're saying
Be
there isn't
quiet.
this narrow standard of what a beautiful.
There we go. I think I got it. Woohoo! Hi, guys. Okay, let's see. All right, all right, all right. Slow down, slow down. Hi, everybody. Okay, I finally see all of your awesomeness going on here. So great. All right, let's see. Wisconsin loves me. I'm still not going there, ever. I'm afraid that I will get my ass handed to me on a silver platter or probably a rusty car hood at the rate that they're going. Let's see. Pictures of the garage. I'm still waiting on, guys. My source is going to be taking them on her way home from work, and she should be heading home from work any minute now. So as soon as I get those will be up on my Facebook fan page. Sorry for the, pain in the neck. Pardon me while I adjust a few things. I like to be able to see myself and see what I'm doing at the same time. So yeah, because I like to make sure that I don't look like a complete horse's ass, just a half of one. I'm sure all of you are going, wow, she is a lot less awesome live. This is pretty pathetic. All right, let's see. Did you ever look into the guy who claimed to see both incidents? This is from Kylie Sluter. Kylie, no, I have not. I have not looked into that. Primarily, I don't know if anybody's really noticed this, but I don't. This is going to sound really contradictory, but I don't do conspiracy theories. They irritate the crap out of me. I don't do them because it seems to me that that's the lazy man's way of explaining shit. I don't subscribe to the 9/11 theory. I don't subscribe to Sandy Hook being a government conspiracy. I don't subscribe to any of that, primarily because I'm sorry, but it's just not possible for everything in this world to be a government conspiracy. It's just not. So let's see. Tyler Joseph asked me, what do I think about the German theory? I've heard a little bit about the German man theory. I haven't really looked into it very much yet. At the moment, I'm still trying to go through the evidence as it should have been gone through in the first damn place. So still working my way through, and the German theory is just not high on my priority list. Asking me again about the garage. I'm still waiting on picture confirmation on that, guys. My source is supposed to be sending me pictures on her way home from work. Let's see. I posted to your other video, Steven saw 2 cops that week. That's what I thought. And I'm actually in the middle of looking for confirmation of that. So let's see. Hi, Bonnie. Nice to see you. Was wondering, oops. Sorry. I kind of, yikes. I scrolled way too far down. Let's see. Was wondering how the body remains were shattered in pieces. Now, see, this is interesting. A lot of people don't understand this when it comes to cremation, but the body was shattered into pieces due to the extremely high heat that was needed. That's how you know that it could not have possibly been the burn pit where the body was burned. It's the mere fact that the body was in that many pieces that tells you that it was an extremely high heat. But also, Sheriff's Department started sifting the remains, and they did it completely wrong. When you're working with a site like that, you're supposed to grid it off first, and then you start doing small trowels full and sift. What they did was they used giant shovels, so that's why the remains are extremely compromised, and it's very difficult to find really a whole lot of evidence out of the remains, I'm sorry to say. Let's see, what do I think about the garage being knocked down? I've actually had a bunch of people telling me that the garage was rebuilt in 2015 and was not a recent rebuild. Here's the thing though, folks, my source told me that when she was driving past on her way home from work the other day, the garage is gone. So what that leads me to believe is that even though the garage may have been rebuilt in 2015, parts of the original garage remained. And for the garage to be gone now tells me that my suspicions are confirmed. Parts of the original garage did remain, and it would have yielded evidence. So that's my thought on that. Jessica Glick asks me, what do I think about the Edward Wayne Edwards theory? I don't know much of it, Jessica, to be quite honest. Again, I don't do conspiracy theories. And yes, while Edward Wayne Edwards lived in the area at the time, that's going way out on a limb for me. I'm conducting this as a homicide investigation, should have been conducted from the get-go. So that's where I'm going with this. Now, if the evidence takes me in that direction, great, fantastic. But right now, I'm not centering in on. I'm not even counting him on my suspect list. Once I've eliminated all of the other suspects, then I'll look into him, maybe. So let's see. Kylie Sluter said he believed a conspiracy was around his barkeep manager who died suddenly. Yes, I understand that. And Dave Bogatka is actually a subscriber of mine. I haven't really had an opportunity to talk to him a whole heck of a lot, and I haven't really watched any of his videos, but he is a handy source of information for certain details that I need filling in. I'll just put it that way. Let's see. Talv asks me, when the detective asked who the cop was, Steve said he didn't recognize him. Why wouldn't he recognize Colburn? I think it was Remacher the time at his house. Colburn, actually, we have confirmation that Colburn was at, he was the one who responded when Calumet County asked for assistance from Manitowoc in investigating George Zipper's residence and Avery's residence. And he himself said that he's the one who went to Stephen Avery's. I think what you're talking about is the first incident, which was not at Stephen Avery's house. It was at his mother's house. And this was on November 2nd, which was one day before Teresa Halbach was reported missing. Bonnie says she was burned at the sheriff's department, right? No, Bonnie. That kind of heat would have had to come from a smelter, a foundry, or a crematorium. Let's see. Hi, everybody. I'm getting a lot of highs. Didn't they do the luminol test back in 2005? I had read somewhere that they did. And so I'm not entirely 100% sure what's going on there, but I have yet to see any report of a luminol test being done at the Stephen Avery site in 2005. I'm still looking though, so stay tuned because I'll probably find it. Bonnie says, you asked, now you got. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. Amir Fazal asks me, is there any chance for Stephen and Brandon? It's actually Brendan, but yes, Amir, I do believe that Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey do have a hell of a chance. I believe that they've got all the chances in the world. The fact is that in 2005, when this shit went down, Manitowoc County is an extremely small county in Podunk Nowhere, Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsinites, but it's true. And I don't think that anybody in the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department believed that anybody would ever be paying attention. And now we are. And they're backpedaling like a motherfucker because they realized that their cover-up was sloppy as shit. And it was sloppy as shit because they didn't believe that anybody would ever pay attention. And round we go. Cindy Nicholson just asked, Zipper? Yes, George Zipper was actually Teresa Halbach's last stop on the day of October 31st of 2005. I refuse to say the day of the murder because there's no way to actually tell when she died. Adidas Janet says, so is the Zipper garage a bullshit story? I am still waiting on confirmation of that, although my source is pretty credible and I don't think it is a bullshit story. Bonnie says, oh, come on, we'll go fishing. Yeah, Bonnie, do I look like the fishing type? Do you see a tan here? No. And the reason is I'm like a vampire with a paper route. I avoid going outside if I can, especially in winter. Don't like snow. Cindy Nicholson, how about Jersey? Cindy, I'm going to have to ask you to elaborate on that just a little bit more because that sounds like a riddle. Ellen boycotting Wisconsin. You and me both, sister. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went even near Wisconsin, I'd get my ass beat. Let's see. Adidas Janet says, I just read the garage was redone years ago. Yes, it was. It was redone actually in 2015. However, like I said before, I believe that the garage was redone, but original portions of the garage probably still hung around. Wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Zipper decided to just add on to the original concrete slab. Let's see. 1961, yeah, I'm not saying your tagline, dude. Sorry. 1961 says, we won't take you to Manitowoc County. You'll be safe. Not chancing it. I know how state troopers work. Amir Fazal asked me, in which state are you? I am a bred, born, and raised Nuevo Mexicano. I'm from New Mexico, and that's actually where I am at the moment. Anne Green says, just your opinion, I know. Who do you think killed Teresa? Well, Anne, at the moment, George Zipper is looking like a pretty good suspect to me. He, the fact that he did demolish his garage recently tells me that there's something to hide there. And the fact that Joellen Zipper's statement is incongruent with her testimony on the stand, and that she stated in her police statement that Teresa Halbach had told her that George had talked to Teresa and told Teresa it was okay for her to photograph the car, tells me that something is fishy. So at the moment, Zipper's at the top of my list. Let's see. Jim says, has Zellner contacted you back? No, Zellner, I'm pretty sure that Ms. Zellner is extremely busy, so I'm not expecting personal contact. Cindy Nicholson says, Zipper was the last stop, right? Yes. And I actually have confirmation of that. You can find it in the cell phone ping records. Jessica Glick says, what do you think about the Edwards being the killer? I don't. Sorry, just don't. Deborah Larson, what's your hypothesis about what happened? I actually did a video on that, Deborah. I did a video on my translation of the blood patterns in the car. And I personally think that Teresa Halbach was attacked either right outside of her car or inside of her car. and her unconscious body was placed in her trunk. I don't think that she was actually killed in the car, although it is possible if it was just blunt force trauma. Kylie Sluter says wasn't a conspiracy. Yeah, I agree with you, Kylie. It's a conspiracy on a smaller scale. I'll put it that way. Everybody knows. Oops, I did it again. I scrolled too far. You guys are going too fast for me, folks. Slow down. You're dealing with a blonde. Let's see. I'm terribly sorry, guys. Let's see. Here we go. Everybody knows 7-Eleven. Have you heard that the garage was torn down a year ago instead of a week ago? I did hear that. However, like I said before, my source is pretty credible. And she has informed myself as well as Jeremy that as she was driving past the Zipper residence on her way home the other night, that the garage was gone. And I'm sorry, but to demolish a garage in the middle of February in Wisconsin is just suspicious. Let's see. Kylie Sluter, he was linked and saw Stephen Avery Halloween night. Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, though, Kylie, is that Stephen Avery has not corroborated that story. And Stephen Avery would have said, you know, yeah, I left at such and such time to go and get some gas, yada, yada. Let's see. Mary Jane asks me, where are you from? Originally, I'm from Taos, New Mexico, bred, born, and raised. My family's been here 16 generations. They came over from Barcelona in 1692 with the De Vargas mission. And we are actually directly descended from the Duke of Burke. So believe it or not, this white bitch is Spanish. All right, let's see. Bill's Guap says, yay, I got my chat to work. I had to go on my laptop. Mobile wasn't working. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Connie Thompson, if you had to guess, who do you think killed Teresa? Right now, George Zipper's at the top of my suspect list, although I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it, actually, but I believe that Ryan Hilligoss deserves a real looking into. All right, let's see. Cindy Nicholson asked me, what do I think about Zipper? I think he's suspicious as shit. His court record shows that he likes to sue people. And considering that he is related to Kush, you know, the fat bastard that did the original Stephen Avery drawing, and I'm thinking that he's looking pretty good. I like him for it. Let's see. Trult01, hello from Norway. Hi, Norway. I have people from you. I'm actually third generation removed Norwegian. Yes, I have a grandpa, Yart. Yart Sundal. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yart, it's spelled with a J. So, hi. Probably my cousin. Let's see. I've got a Paula Sydney. Hello from Australia. Hi. Good day, mate. Yes, I know. That was a really bad accent. Bazille Girl says, just want to say thank you from Wisconsin. Hope you can come out and Brennan and Stephen come home. Oh, I would love to. I would love to meet Stephen and Brendan in person. I really, really would. Just to give them a hug and tell them welcome home. I really would. And I would love to just hug Brendan. I really would. You know, guys, when Brendan was originally brought into all of this shit, he was 16 and I have a 15-year-old son, and I just, my little mama's heart just, come here, mijito. Let's see. Carrie Jones says, I still wonder if the person planting her car hit that deer. See, now that's an interesting point. And I still have to take a really good look at Teresa Halbach's photographs of her car. But that's an excellent point, and I love that point, and that's an excellent theory. I still have to line things up, though. You know me, guys. I like to cross-reference, make sure all my shit's on point. Let's see. Bill says, Zipper suspect as fuck. Yes, I agree. Extremely suspicious. Kylie, I know that you're trying to signal to Dave. I'm pretty sure that he's in here somewhere. I wouldn't doubt if he was. Let's see. Mummy's Got Ink. Hi from the UK. Hi. I got people from there too. Cold warfare. I heard somewhere that there was a smelter at the lot that could be hot enough if it was used. Yes, that's very true. But here's the thing. The smelter was dusty as shit and obviously hadn't been used for a long time. Amir Fazal says hi from India. Hi. Wow. India, huh? God, that's pretty fucking cool to me. Let's see. Sharon Gager. I'm from the Midwest. You do not tear a garage down in February even if the fucking thing was falling apart. I agree, Sharon. That's, I'm not even from the Midwest. I'm from northern New Mexico, and a lot of people don't know this, but people hear New Mexico and they think desert and heat. It doesn't help that Breaking Bad sort of helped perpetuate that myth, but I'm from northern New Mexico, and my city's actually at 7,500 feet above sea level. And we get a lot of snow. I've got 3 of the best ski resorts in the world within driving distance from my house. And yeah, even here, you don't do shit like that in the middle of the damn winter. It's just a bad idea. Nicholson, how about Zipper? I think I've answered that already. Alma Heinrichs, how do you feel about the possibility that the RAV4 may be a replacement? Well, Alma, I haven't really looked into that all that much. I'll admit that. I think that don't you think that if Teresa's car was originally, the VIN number came back as a manual, don't you think that would have come out at some point during the investigation, like Ryan or Mike or somebody would have slipped up and said it? But anything's possible. So I guess all I can do is follow the evidence. Colleen Shanley says, I love you. I love you too. Jessica Glick, yeah, we've already talked about that. Colleen says, Matt and I are kind of loving your posts. He sent you the question on Skype. Oh, thank you, Colleen. I am absolutely loving the response to this. I never thought that I would get nailed this hard with this many fans. Wow, 98 viewers. I am popular. Let's see. Don Ronald, has Kathleen Zellner asked you yet to help her with the case? You two would kick ass. No, and I don't expect her to. I don't really. Kathleen is a very busy woman, and I'm pretty sure that, she's got all the people that she needs. I'm not doing this to try and get Kathleen's attention either. I'm doing this because I feel a need to combat misperception. Because I'm sorry, but these days I honestly believe that too many people are watching those crime shows and they're getting a wrong idea of how things work. So I'm here to combat that. That's my job. And not only that, but I love busting Ken Kratz's chops on his own front. The man loves to try and combat shit in the media, and I just thought it was time that somebody gave him a run for his money. Kay Bowser says, I'm sorry, guys. I'm having the hardest time seeing anything. Kay Bowser says, what was the explanation about the bloody bullet? She was shot in the head twice, only found 1 bullet in the garage. Well, actually, Kay, the thing about that is that the bullet wasn't even covered in blood. There was no visible blood on there, and I know that because that would have been notated in the DNA report. All that they said was that there were nucleated cells on the bullet, such as could be found from a toothbrush. Let's see here. Janet Partridge asks, do you think they might be able to hold off the dumped garage to test anything or everything? They might, if they move quickly. If they move quickly, they might be able to hold that off. So let's see what happens there. Paul says, I know Colburn was there, so why would Steven say he didn't recognize him? If you know Cole, are you talking about the November 3rd meeting? Because I don't think Colburn was there on November 2nd. Spence says laptop. The laptop, I do want to know where Teresa's laptop was and why it was at her house rather than in her car with her. I've done sales, folks, and when I've done sales, I take my laptop with me everywhere because that's my primary source of communication. That's my workstation. It's my portable office. So why would she have not taken her laptop with her, folks? That's an excellent question, and I mean to find that out. Alma says, who is your favorite son? You know, Alma, it sort of varies from day to day. Today it's George Zipper, definitely. Zipper is at the top of my suspect list at the moment. Let's see, Anne Green. I feel like we should all be adding fucking all of our comments. This is just too subdued. You know, why stop there, Anne? Let's get creative and throw in a few little Mongolian monkey molesters and see what happens. All right, Spence, we just talked about that. Sharon Gager, a 22 caliber bullet wouldn't go through someone's head. The bullet fragment was way too small to check ballistics. Exactly, Sharon, exactly. The ballistics expert that actually testified on the stand even said as much. He said that the sample was too compromised and that he was not able to conclusively link it to the gun that was found in Stephen Avery's house. Another piece of pro-defense evidence that was left out of the documentary, Mr. Kratz, you seem to fucking forget that part. Let's see. Jeff Jones says, do you think Kratz, the human gnome, had something to do with it? No, I don't. I don't think Kratz had anything to do with it, but I do think that he has everything to do with why Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey are sitting in jail right now. Tolv says, luminol tests were done and in the transcripts. Great. If you could message that to me, that would be fantastic. I would like to read that transcript. It's slow going through all this stuff, quite frankly. Let's see. Sharon Gager, they found 11 .22 caliber shell casings in and around the garage. Yes, they did. They did find 11 .22 caliber shell casings, but see, nobody tested those. And the thing about that is I'm sorry, but if they cleaned up all the blood, why would they leave the casings? You know, because in order for there to be absolutely no blood to be found in the garage, they would have had to fucking clean that thing better than Stanley Steamer. Cindy Nicholson, how about the other auto body shop owned by Herman? I have not really looked into that one a whole lot yet, but it would make a lot of sense on why Herman didn't try too hard to find the real killer. I don't think that he had, obviously, I don't think that any of the police had anything to do with Teresa's death, but I do think that they had an awful lot to do with the false conviction, and I believe that that was Herman's motivation. Bonnie says, Stephen Avery is innocent. Teresa Halbach needs to be laid to rest. Be put to rest. Yes, I agree, Bonnie. And see, that's why I advocate justice for the Manitowoc 3, is because there's 3 victims here. It's not just about Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey, and it's not just about Teresa. It's about all 3 of them. They all have been subjected to this god-awful injustice. Angie says, hey, Chica, you're doing a great job. Why, thank you, Angie. I do my best. I try. Sharon says, how they figure she was shot 11 times, supposedly ridiculous. That is ridiculous, Sharon. And the thing is that if she'd been shot 11 times, not only would there have been blood all over that damn garage, but there would have been very little left of her. You know, Teresa Halbach was a bitty thing. That's overkill of the worst kind. Oh, hi, Deanna. Alma, how do you feel about the sheriff who owns the competing salvage yard? I feel he's a slime. That's about the extent of it. Tolv says, I read the report that said those casings were from the 50 or 60, whatever the second gun was. It's possible, although I doubt it. I mean, that was a muzzle loader. That doesn't, it was a flintlock muzzle loader. Those don't use casings that I'm aware of. But then again, I'm a ballistics expert. Oh, okay, Chad. I'll try to remember. Let's see. Cindy Nicholson, you got that right, sister. I do my best, damn it. Tolv, I also found an instance where they tested Scott Blodern's DNA. You did. Fantastic. I'll have to look for that. Deanna says they had no idea people were going to look into this for real. They're shitting bricks sideways. And you can tell by the look on their face. Don't they all look like somebody who really, really needs to fart but doesn't want to make any noise? Jimmy says, why did he ask for her personally? He didn't, Jimmy. He didn't ask for her personally. He said, sure, just send that girl that you sent last time. That's not asking for her personally. And, you know, I'm sorry, Jimmy, but again, if I've said it before, I've said it a million times. Are you telling me that you've never preferred somebody's professionalism? You don't have a specific mechanic, specific barber, hairdresser? You see what I'm saying? That's not suspicious. It is not suspicious to prefer one professional's customer service over another. Does anyone know Zipper address? Google Maps that. Yes, we do know Zipper's address. I don't have it off the top of my head, sorry. But that has been Google Mapped. Rick says, just here to watch. Well, thank you, Rick. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. Mummy's got ink. Do you believe that they could have cleaned up so well but still leave dust, dirt, and grime untouched? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And not only did they only clean up Teresa Halbach's blood, they somehow knew which blood was Teresa's and which blood was the deer blood that they did find in the garage. And they only cleaned up Teresa's. Aren't they geniuses with 70 IQ levels? Laptop whereabouts, let's discuss. Nobody knows. As far as I know, I have not seen it mentioned anywhere in any of the evidence collection reports. If anybody else has, that'd be nice information to have, but I have not heard of it anywhere. How the fuck did they convict Brendan? None of his testimony was true. They convicted him because Kaczynski fucked him. And for whatever reason, his subsequent counsel did not work harder to get those false confessions thrown out. I don't know why. Can I go through the email Krat sent to the DNA analyst? I did, actually. I did make a video on that. Unfortunately, I had a glitch with my internet hookup right before this broadcast. So I will be uploading that after the live event. Thank you, Angie. I feel special. Dancing Nami, any thoughts on the Martinez theory? You know, I've actually heard about this Andres Martinez, and ooh, I seem to have cracked a nail. And I haven't looked into it much yet, but I'm working on it. This is how you conduct a homicide investigation, folks. You have to wade through a lot of shit. And I'm the only one with a shovel right now, with the exception of my partner in crime, Jonathan Bolsinger. But, you know, we're not in the same airspace, so it's really hard to, like, coordinate efforts. Let's see, Cold Warfare. Why wasn't there any marks on the bedpost from the alleged handcuffs and leg irons being attached to them? For that matter, why wasn't Teresa Halbach's DNA on them? Because she was never there. That's why. Kratz, on the other hand, would have you believe that, nah, I don't fucking know. Who knows what his theory is. The boy doesn't seem to know his ass from a hole in the ground. Did you see anonymous note sent to Sheriff's Department that the body was burned in an aluminum smelter at 3 a.m.? I did see that. I did see that, and I'm currently trying to analyze the hell out of that. Whoever did write it either is extremely uneducated or worked really hard to look like they are. Cindy says, okay, Sin. Tell your husband I say hello. Mummy's got ink. Brendan was convicted of rape, but there's no evidence of DNA to corroborate this. Am I right? You're absolutely right. was no evidence of a rape. None. At least none that the prosecution actually tested for. Now, I find this extremely interesting because had they actually tested for those kinds of bodily fluids, if a rape had happened, they would have found it. Believe me. Yes, I did Cindy's husband. I did just say her name, and I'll keep saying it because I love her. Tyler Joseph, do you believe the corrupt Justice Department officials that were involved will be held responsible? I believe that if they're not, there will be such an uproar that the powers that be will have no choice but to hold them responsible, especially once it comes out that there was a cover-up twice with the same defendant. Sharon says one of the Zipper guys. You know, considering that Jason is in jail right now, the grandson, and he's in jail, I'm not entirely sure what for, but his criminal record is just sketchy. Samantha says, I live in Wisconsin, watch your videos, and want to thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, Samantha. I want everybody to know, I actually don't dislike Wisconsin. I've never been there. But, you know, I do like that the Packers have been known to give the Broncos a run for their money. At least I think they have. I don't pay attention to football. But the only reason why I've been up there is because I don't like the cold. It's that simple. Angie says, too bad they couldn't interview the ex-boyfriend. No, they could have. They just chose not to. See, that's how it's supposed to go. They are supposed to identify the victim and then look at the people closest to her and then branch out from there. They didn't do that. They just focused in on Stephen Avery from the get-go. Hey, Browser says, Mr. Zipper was irate that day, I heard. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Zipper was threatening all kinds of shit. So let's see what happens from there. I, once again, overshot. I don't know how the hell this is happening. So give me a second, folks. Incidentally, somebody tell Camel to sponsor me because I'm getting a lot of shit for smoking on camera. Let's see. Wow, there's a ton of questions here, guys. You are you're certainly giving me a lot here. May have to go over the 7 o'clock time frame. Let's see. Lots and lots. There we go. All right. Colleen, how can they prove she was raped? They can't, Colleen. That's pure speculation. There is no hard DNA evidence to corroborate that. None. Mary Jane, when will we know something from Zellner or going to court? Is there a court date this 11th? I don't know about a court date on the 11th, but I do know that matter like this take a long time, especially when there has to be scientific testing. They have to wait for the results. So I say 6 months at the outside, but you know, I do know that Stephen and Brendan are aware that new things are happening, things are moving and shaking, so they at least have hope now. And when you have hope, you have everything. Let's see. Industry DJ, hi, what's the situation at present with the rough handwritten note that was signed Sikaki? I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with that right now. I'm currently trying to analyze that note, but it's they didn't give me much to work with. Julie White, I think Ryan Scott, Bobby Mike, and Colburn killed Teresa, and I think Link was involved in the cover-up. Okay, Julie, give me proof. Show me evidence. Because speculation is great, but it's only speculation. We need evidence. Follow the evidence. It never lies. Deborah Larson, how old is this Zipper guy? He is in his 70s at the moment. At the time of the murder, he was in his 60s. Barbara Miller, I don't know if this has been asked, but in Stephen Avery's November 6th interview, when the cop was asking him about the car crusher, he was asking him about the cars on top. Is that where they found her car? Yes, they found the car on the ridge. I have an opinion about Robert Herman and him being an auto body shop owner. Yes, I do. I think he's a scuzzball, and I think that the fact that he owns the only other salvage yard within 100 miles is his motive for framing Stephen Avery. Sharon says, you're fine, relax. Bonnie says, yes, you do. Hi, Bonnie. Let's see. Bill says, did you watch the TMZ interviews of Kaczynski and Kratz? I watched the one of Kaczynski, and oh my God, that was hilarious. He was trying so hard to distance himself, wasn't he? That was fantastic. I love it. I love watching people shit their pants like that. It's hilarious. Summer fishing. Well, maybe. You might be able to talk me into that. But first, I think we're going to have to engage a lot of big, sweaty bodyguards to keep Ken Kratz busy. I believe you know a lot of bikers, Bonnie. Somehow this does not surprise me. Frank Castle just says, George, yes, I think George is, he's at the top of my suspect list right now. Ryan did it. Zipper helped plant the car. That's stretching it a bit. That's stretching it about as tight as some spandex on a fat lady's ass in Walmart. Her car had damage to it. Did it happen on or near the Avery property? Now, that's calling for speculation. I don't know. I don't know where it was damaged. But I do know that if there wasn't any damage to the car prior to Teresa's death, then it must have happened during the planting. Jessica says, I repeated my question a few times. I'm sorry. No worries, Jessica. There's blonde under all this red, so don't feel the need to apologize for anything like that. I actually had somebody bitch about how much I play with my hair. Guys, my hair is this long, okay? It gets in my way, and it's very floofy, and it tends to just do whatever the fuck it wants. So, sorry. Let's see. Julie White, what do you think about Mama Avery saying she thinks Teresa is still alive? I think Dolores is grasping at straws for hope right now, and I can't blame her. I really can't. I cannot imagine the pain that poor woman is going through, because in 1985, she lost her son for 18 years. In 2007, she lost her son and her grandson, and I am not going to deny her the opportunity to make herself have hope. Because in those situations, hope is sometimes the only thing that keeps you breathing. And I speak from experience. Not with having a child of mine in jail, but with having a child of mine away from me. Frank Castle, hi from Oregon. Hi, Frank. I actually have a buddy who lives in Eugene. Jonathan, actually, my partner in non-crime. Paula Sidney says, I'm actually Canadian living in Australia. You know, it's actually funny you say that, Paula. Many years ago, I worked in diamonds, and I used to think like a lot of Americans think, which was that Canadians can't really talk like that. You know, it had to be an exaggeration. And then I got a phone call from a Canadian. Oh, hey there, eh? I was wondering about this this here 1 carat round brilliant there, eh? And I'm like, oh my God, it's not a lie. Sharon, we're in Oregon too. Oh, awesome. I'll be moving to Washington State in May, so. Alma, is it normal to have such little blood on a bullet allegedly gone through someone's head, or just trace? No, Alma, that shit should have been coated not only in blood, but in gray matter. Connie, do you know how blood would have gotten on the side of the blood vial? Yeah. If somebody popped the fucking top out of the tube. Sharon, a .22 caliber bullet would bounce around inside and not go through her skull. That's actually correct, and that is why I have got a buddy of mine getting ready to put down a pig on the 13th. He will be using a 22 gauge long range rifle, and he will be putting it to the pig's head and pulling the trigger. So The pig was going to die anyway. It's part of a matanza, which is a thing here in New Mexico. Matanza is sort of like a family festival. They slaughter a pig and then they spend the whole day cooking and eating every part of the pig. And so the pig was going to die anyway, guys. I just, happened to have the right opportunity to run an experiment. Spence, zipper conned to the police officer. Ryan kills her, confesses. Colburn says, hey, we can frame Avery. Again, that's stretching it. That's stretching it. Now the fat lady's bending over. That's stretching it a little too far. Are you planning on writing a book on all this? Thanks again for your videos. You rock. I primarily deal in paranormal historical fiction, and murder thrillers. That's my genres that I write in. But I would write this book if Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey asked me to. I would. I would definitely do that for them because they deserve that much. And Teresa deserves the real story told. All right. Let's see. Jeffrey, I found an article in my own sleuthing where Ryan's college did an alumni newsletter. The question was, yes, I remember that, Ryan. I remember that the quote was something about women being evil. There is something wrong with that boy. And if he's not the one who killed Teresa, keep an eye on his ass because something's going to happen in that boy's immediate area. Let's see. Jeffrey, sorry, what scares you? Yes. Barbara Miller, in Stephen Avery's November 6th interview. Okay, we answered that. Julie White, thank you for bringing up how the Avery Dasseys dressed at court. I got a lot of shit for that, but I'm sorry. A lot of people were like, well, they didn't think of it. And I'm going, well, true, but, still. Kay Bowser, the pic shows green RAV4 with her in front of it. The one at the Avery lot was blue. You've got to look at lighting, guys. There's a lot of shit that goes into that. But I'll look into it. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Julie said, what about the cop who has a salvage yard with a smelter? That's Herman, and he's a slimy scuzzball. Everyone give a thumbs up. Thanks, Bill. Dark green only manual, blue green only automatic. I guess we'll see. I'll dig. Jim Tuttle says you're awesome. Oh, thank you, Jim. I feel the love. Janet Partridge, what happened to all her camera equipment? Apparently her at least one camera was in the burn barrel. And this was the camera that she used for Auto Trader. As for her professional camera equipment, which from what I understand, she carried with her all the time, I don't know. It's gone missing. I have not seen it mentioned anywhere in any of the evidence collection records. Julie White says, is there a black box in the 99 RAV4? I'm not sure when they started using black boxes. I don't know. I believe that there was, and I've seen it said by some mechanics who've worked on RAV4s from that year that by disconnecting the battery cables like that, it would have reset that black box and would have erased all the information that could have been obtained from it. Samantha says, Kratz is a media junkie. I agree. He is a media junkie. I actually, right before this broadcast, I had a fan tell me about how Kratz possibly went on to a Reddit thread today and tried to extol his own virtues and got his ass handed to him. So that's hilarious. Bonnie says she's coming fishing. I said maybe. Spence, color of green and blue are not options to both. I'll have to check that out. Kratz is an all-out junkie. You're right, Bill. He is. Kratz. I have to meet this man one day just so I can slap him. Who says, did you listen to the recording of Colburn running plates? You can hear a woman in the back saying cars here. I actually have a buddy of mine trying to enhance that audio right now so that we can get a positive confirmation on that, so that there's no question. Daniel says, what do you think about Ed Edwards as a potential suspect? I don't do conspiracy theories, Daniel. I don't. And Ed Edwards, is it possible? Yeah, of course it's possible. Is it probable? Not really. Deanna says, how about the part of the document that the two investigators are going through his trailer and found the shoes and commented about planting them at unsolved crime scenes? I did actually do a video with regards to that. That woman just sounded a little too happy to be rifling through his shit, don't you think? That was fucking suspicious. Talv says, I found them doing prints, including checking Scott Bloater and the roommate. Okay, great. Again, send me the link and I will be happy to go through that. Deanna says she had that laptop with her. We need to find that shit out. Well, if she did, and then Ryan looked up her records, her friends list. Think about it, folks. We're up at 113 viewers now. Wow. I'm really flattered right now, guys. Paula Sidney, Stephen's early interview, he has no cut on his finger. The cut doesn't show up until after Teresa's car is found. This blows away the speculation his cut finger left the blood evidence in the car. Not to mention that the cut finger is on his left hand, but the blood smear is on the right side of the steering wheel near the ignition. Got it. No. Julie White, is there a black box in the 99 RAV4? I believe that there is, but don't quote me. Carrie Jones, a blind monkey fucking a coconut. I love that saying because it's true. A blind monkey fucking a coconut totally could have done a better job of this shit. Let's see. Who says, okay, then fuck, did you listen to the recording of Colburn's running plates? Yes. I just addressed that. And does not have the car does not have a black box. Yeah, they do, Bonnie. A lot of them do. Ever since they started making the switch over to computers. Kay Bowser, where was Colburn when he made that call 2 days in advance about her plates? I have no idea, but I mean to find out. Paula Sidney, Colburn recording, you don't even hear a lady type in numbers and she answers instantly, what the fuck? You know, I found that really fucking suspicious too. That was really weird. Why? I mean, I guess somebody could argue that they edited that, but why would they? They didn't edit anything else. Tyler Joseph, what do you think about Herman being involved since he owns a rival? Yeah, Herman's a slimy fucking shithead. I personally think that that is his motive for framing Stephen Avery. You heard it here first, folks. Carrie Jones, laptop is probably with her body and her keys. Well, if not her body, definitely her keys. Jeff Jones, Scott Taddick is a dick to women. I think he's guilty. I really like Scott for this. I do. He's on my suspect list. I just have to tie it all together. Tal, the casing were from the other gun. Which other gun? The muzzleloader? I don't think muzzleloaders use casings, do they? I don't know shit about guns. Let's see. Julie White, Toyota does use black boxes, but I'm not sure if they started using them in 99 or 01. Okay, fair enough. So that's something to look for, folks. Bonnie, everyone is a detective. Way too much speculation. That's the thing, folks, is speculation is a good brain teaser. It's good brain exercise. But the thing is that by speculating, you're not really doing much but speculating. You need to look beyond the speculation. Look for supporting evidence, okay? It's kind of like a hypothesis. You come up with your hypothesis, and then you look for evidence to support the hypothesis. You see? What about RAV keys? Has anyone called the car dealership to see if that was a new key made for that specific vehicle? I can tell you that that is a new key without even having to call, and I'll tell you why. Grind marks. If she'd have been the one, if that key was her key, there wouldn't be any fresh grind marks from the key grinder. Duo Craft. Hi. Hi. Jeff Jones, was there proof for being raped? No, there wasn't. There was no DNA, no solid evidence that she was raped. Oh, hey, John. I'll bring you on in a minute, you attention whore. Sharon Gager, muzzleloader is different. You load gunpowder into the gun, pack a ball into it, blah, blah. Thank you, Sharon. That's what I thought. I knew my history had not fled me yet. Julie, do you think color? Am I a dog now? Tall, Exhibit 498 shows a check for fingerprints, including Scott Blodern, for your reference. Thank you. Thank you. I will check into that. Sharon, the casings were from a .22 caliber. Yes. Paula Sidney, she was the only photographer in town. For Auto Trader, yes, she was. Sharon, it's normal for us to be picking off varmints, squirrels, possum with a .22. What about really shitty DAs? Can you pick him off too? Julie White, do you think Colburn could have killed her? I don't. I really don't. I don't think that he killed her, but I do think he's a slimy piece of shit. Paula Sidney, or the only one that worked for Auto Trader. That's right. Who said, I wait for the same checker and server. I rest my case. Jeff Jones, a blind monkey fucking a football can see Taddick or Bobby Dassey or Zipper had something to do with it. They did. I'm sorry, but they did. That community is way too tight-knit. So for all of them to be working in conjunction wouldn't actually surprise me. No, Bonnie, no. There will be no fucking of the Kratz because ew, and he would like it. But I do think we need to put him in the same cell block as the subway guy. Sorry says Stephen Avery is better at cleaning up blood than Dexter. Right? And Dexter had a whole crew of people in between takes. Alma, Teresa was the only Auto Trader photographer for that area. Yep, that's right. Alma, Connie Thompson. On the blood vial, do you know how blood got between the glass and the stopper? I heard the only way is to take the top off, but why would they take the top off of the vial? There's a few reasons. There's a few reasons why they would, but I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't have any evidence. Elizabeth, I've been binge watching since I found your channel a few days ago. I have that effect on people. That's kind of like how my husband and I were. You know, we met for the first time and we've been joined at the hip ever since. Lauren says, didn't the sheriff that owned the competing salvage yard also have an incinerator on the property? I'm not 100% sure on that, but I will find that out. Cody Webb, just here, tuning in, been watching your videos for weeks. Really enjoy them. Great investigative work. Thank you, Cody. I feel so loved. Becky Shirky, why did the family wait 3 days to report her missing? Do you think they're hiding something? What about Mike saying they didn't know how long it'd take to grieve even before the search? See, all of that's just really suspicious to me. There's something very weird going on there. And that family I got a really weird vibe off of them. And my gut's usually on the up and up. Deanna, Kratz, the sick perv, how the hell does he get 3 months suspension for rape? It was 4 months and a $23,000 fine. And it wasn't for the rape. They actually dropped that charge. Both convictions happened because the juries fell out of the stupid tree, taking every branch. I agree. This is why I advocate for professional juries, folks. In this specific instance, I don't think that a jury of your peers is the best way to get a fair trial. I think that there should be professional jurors, people that are experts in how to interpret this kind of evidence. Angie, hi from Chicago. That's great. I actually would love to live in Chicago at some point in the future. Tall, what about the RAV4 being listed as a 98 and a 94 in different documents? You know, that could be explained so many different ways. Not being shitty ass police work. It is what it is. Deanna, the little keychain cuffs that were in the bag in the photo. I know. What? They were the fuzzy kind, which would have just been soaked in her DNA. And yet there was not a scrap of her DNA anywhere. Julie White, Kratz said in TMZ, if there is new DNA testing, Stephen and Brendan deserve a new trial. Well, Kratz said that because he doesn't think that any new DNA will be found. And on that note, he's a moron. Steve, okay, her PDA camera and phone were found in the burn barrel. If it's hot enough to burn her body to bits, yet not destroy that stuff. See, that's the thing, is I don't think that her body was burned in the burn barrel. I really don't. And I don't know what the fuck is going on there. And the fact that pieces of her bones were found in the quarry, the burn barrel, and the majority were found in the burn pit, that tells me that the quarry was the primary dump site. I don't think she was burned there, but I do think that was the primary dump site. And I do think that the burn barrel was used to transport her remains, and I think that they were dumped in Stephen Avery's burn pit. Let's see. Bonnie, yes, I've said hello many times. Mwah! Julie, yeah, you can see the video on TMZ. I look forward to it. Jimmy, how about the voice? Ah, I did it again. Dang it. You poor people, you have to stare at me while I'm not talking. Why it keeps skipping like this, I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Oh, there you are. Okay, really quick, guys. I would like to grab a beverage, and while I'm grabbing a beverage, I would like to put something to rest once and for all. This calling me fat by the haters, I would like to put that to rest right here, right now, for the last time. Everything that is seen on camera usually is from the chest up. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. And I am back. So there. Now you can tell them all, no, she's just an average mom of 6 kids. Shut up. All right, so let's keep going here. You'll watch later. No, you won't, John. I'll call you in a minute. Jeebus. All right, let's see. Sharon gives Zipper's home improvements address. Tyler, if evidence was indeed planned, do you think those responsible will be held accountable? Like I said before, if they're not held accountable initially, there will be such a public outcry that the powers that be will have no choice but to hold them accountable. Mike says they restrained her with those finger cuffs and brutally raped her with her fingers tied. I'm saying, like, what the fuck? Is common sense just lacking in all of the officials of Manitowoc County? Just wondering. Yes, I know. This is my other addiction, guys. Sodas. I know. I'm horrible. Let's see. John, the hacking was due to his horrible, incriminating voicemails he left. I believe it. I believe it, John. And all we need to do is find the evidence. So get to work. And what do you believe will be Kathleen Zellner's smoking gun? I think she knows whose fingerprint was on the hood of that car. And if she doesn't know yet, she will soon. That's what I think. Mike, testing. Summer, what brand of cigs are you smoking? I am a Camel chick. I love my Camel filters. Love me some Camels. Mwah. Carrie, Northeast Wisconsin is amazing in the summer. Love visiting my family in Shawano. Well, you go right ahead, Carrie. I am staying out of Wisconsin if I can help it. Bonnie is apparently going to drag me up there at some point, but she's going to need to call in like 2 or 3 biker gangs before I'll go. Jeffrey, didn't they have keyless remote for car doors? The fact that the key found didn't have that is strange to me. I don't know much about the RAV4. My car has keyless everything. Like there is no ignition key. It's just a remote. Samantha, this case was messed up from day one. Stephen and Brendan are innocent. I absolutely agree with you, Samantha. I don't see Stephen Avery getting exonerated and then committing a murder. It doesn't make any sense. Sari, every time you smoke, it makes me need to go out and have one. I'm not sorry. See, folks, this is the thing. I've actually done a lot of research on these. My grandmother, let me put it to you this way. My grandmother is 88. She's been smoking since she was a very young woman. And that woman's going to bury us all. I mean, she's one of the healthiest women I've ever met. She's only now starting to get a smoker's cough. So, for the haters. Elizabeth, I'm smoking right along with you. Grab a cup of coffee, settle in. Maybe I should do this once a week in the morning so we can have breakfast together. Deanna, that's right. People ask why Zipper wasn't checked out more if he was a suspect, simply because they didn't want anyone else besides Brendan and Stephen. They never looked beyond Stephen Avery, period. Brendan was collateral damage. Julie, I like Camel Crush. You know, many years ago when my husband was still smoking cigarettes, he also preferred Camel Crush. He started smoking menthols there for a while, and then he moved on to pipes and pipe tobacco. And now I spoil him every month by ordering him a shitload of new flavors of pipe tobacco. Tina says, glad you're on my side. For now. Crazy eyes. Let's see. Carrie, Camel Crush. Yeah, those are good. I'll admit it. They're good. We used to buy those when we were still a little on the broke side, and you know, we would share packs of cigarettes. It was just a lot cheaper than buying 2 different kinds. Mike, have Mountain Dew sponsor you like Emma. I hate Mountain Dew. Ugh, I can't even stand the smell of Mountain Dew. It's so gross. I used to work at a Taco Bell, and you'd be surprised how many people order Mountain Dew with their shit at the drive-thru. Seriously. Summer, smoke away. I'm having one, so why shouldn't you? Ha! John, American Spirit Black. You know, John, around here, American Spirits are sponsored. They sponsor a lot of music festivals, and they'll have a smoking tent, and they just hand out free packs of cigarettes the whole event. Neener. Bonnie, he's a moron, loser, pervert. I agree. Kratz is just, he is the single most despicable human. He is the only human being that I've ever seen that bears that much resemblance to a single-celled amoeba. Deanna, have you found out what kind of meds that they put Stephen on? No, I haven't, and I would love to know. I'll have to ask Carla. She knows everything, and I love the woman, and you know, I feel really bad for the family. I really do. I feel really bad for the Averys and the Dasseys, and I feel really, really bad for the Hallbachs that didn't have anything to do with this. Let's see, Emmanuel. Hi, Casey. Why don't we have almost any info about Teresa Hallbach's life prior to the crime? Did any investigation was made into her past? I don't think any investigation. I think the bare minimum investigation was made into her past. Not a whole hell of a lot. There's very little information on her. Kay Bowser, who's in charge of the evidence room today? At Calumet County, I believe it is a Zipper. And at Manitowoc County, according to Sheriff Herman, it is Colburn. Angie, so are the bones really Teresa's? I don't know. I can't say that with any scientific certainty because the only sample that had any DNA was only came up to 7 Loki, which is shit. It's shit nothing for DNA matching. Sorry, John Jeebus. Barbara, so before it got there, they knew that is where they parked the crusher cars, right? I don't know. It's very possible. I would think that that was true, which would put Scott at the top of the suspect list because he would be the only one with that kind of insider information. Cindy, do you think they will be set free versus another trial? They should just set them free. They have no evidence. The similar key is really 51K1 key. It's a spare key. I just learned that. Really? If you could get that kind of documentation to me in a link, you can message me on the YouTube channel or you can send it to me on Twitter, Mama Phoenix 6. Dave, how much do you know about the 85 sexual assault on the beach? I know it wasn't Stephen Avery, and I know I basically know about as much as anybody who doesn't live in Manitowoc County knows. Julie, lots of people speculating that Mike Kalbach is somehow involved. What do you think? I think that if he's not involved, he knows something. That's what I think. Missing pieces, camera memory card, and Uyghur's report on Zipper. Yeah, there was a flash card. And in 2005, that's what a memory card for a camera was called, was a flash card. And it was found in the cargo area of the vehicle. And it was swabbed for DNA. But beyond that, I don't think that there was any testing done. I have yet to see any further reference to any further testing done anywhere in any of the evidence reports. Jonathan, quit busting my chops. Hold on, folks. Let's bring this Nancy on here. Jonathan, get to your TV. Let's see if Jonathan will answer, folks. Jonathan, I know you're watching. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I tried. You can call me too, but don't try to do video chat. It won't work. All right, let's see. When Steven says on top, he's talking about removing. Ah, there he is. All right, John, you're on the air. Aren't you happy?
Well,
Okay, let's keep going here, folks.
sweet.
Okay. When Steven says on top, he's talking about removing the gas tank, motor, etc. from the car. Yes, that's actually true, and I don't know why. I'm trying to fit those pieces together. Bonnie's.
There's a lot.
There is. There's a lot of missing pieces that need to be. Let's see.
Trying to keep up with the live chat. Wild.
It is. It is. Let's see. Sikiki looks kind of like sincerely with some letters entangled to look like K's. You know, Mike, that's an excellent observation. Now, guys, if my video is a little stunted and halting right now, I apologize. I'm not entirely sure how to fix that.
It's because we're on too.
Well, then in that case,
Hang up with me. I'll be in the chat room.
all right. You hang. Thank you. All right, folks, that was Jonathan Bolsinger, and he's my partner in non-crime. He runs down a lot of leads for me, and he brings a lot of stuff to my attention, and we run a lot of ideas back and forth. All right, Deanna, ew, you said sweaty. It's Shvedi. It's the Shvedi Kratz. He's very German. Oops, did it again. Okay. Sorry, guys, the chat kind of backed up on me again. Hold on. Hang on just 1 second. I have to find out what's going on with the kids, folks. What's going on?
Dagan and Cami are fine.
Then what? Who's crying?
That will be Cami.
Why?
She's in her room.
Why? Why? What does that have to do with it? Are the lights turned on?
I have no clue.
All right. Okay, let's see. I'm working on it, Casey. It's going to take some time since I'm studying you in sociology. Okay, Julie, you're going to have to clarify that one. What is your position of the photo of Teresa Halbach's car at the Avery Yard? My position right now is I don't have one. I don't have a position at the moment. I still have to go through that. Courtney, how do we really know 100% those charred remains were even Teresa's? We don't know for sure. People will bitch about everything. Fuck them. Let's see. Thank you, Bonnie. Bill, I'm surprised you still have all that hair with 6 kids. I have 2 and want to pull my hair out sometimes. I am very fortunate. My husband is very, very supportive, and he is a huge help. And I'm very fortunate in that my 2 older sons, our 2 older children, are 15 and 14, and they're just a huge help with the kids. They're great big brothers. They're fantastic helpers. I advocate spoiling the shit out of them. Let's see. Deanna says, okay, if people are bitching about your hair and smoke, let them dig up their own information. You're doing great. Thank you, Deanna. I agree. Alma, did Zipper have access to smelters or crematorium? I don't know, but I mean to find out. Sharon says, poor Dolores, she's been through too damn much. She has. She has. On top of wanting to hug Stephen and Brendan, I really just want to give her like the biggest hug ever and bake her a fucking cheesecake. Seriously. Cindy says, has anyone heard where them assholes are? I mean, shouldn't they be defending themselves? I don't know. Julie, totally agree with you on Mama Avery. Kay Bowser, her whole life was fighting for her kid. Who could blame her? I know. That final scene of her where she's like, I love you guys and I know you're innocent. I mean, that moment just made my heart crumble because I'm very fortunate to have all 6 of my children, all of my little chickies with me all the time. And I shudder to think. I really do. Tina, photo Ryan. I think it was Ryan's testimony that he borrowed the camera to Pam. Freudian slip. Pam is a PI and she doesn't have her own camera. That's what I'm saying. Like, how the fuck did she even come to a search and she didn't bring any equipment? Pam drives me bonkers. I'm telling you. Okay, let's see. Deanna, did you see Steven's dad in a recent video with Steven's brother? He doesn't look well. No, he doesn't. He doesn't look well at all. And I just hope that he lives to see his son free. His son and his grandson. I really do. I agree, Jeff. He is. Let's see. Cindy, thank you for all you do. In a sec, I have to go. Okay. Courtney, well, what is the convincing evidence it was her? Please, someone tell me. You'll have to ask Kratz because I don't see any. Courtney, Bonnie, Stephen Avery said if he did this, he would have crushed the son of a bitch. And you know, I agree. I think he's stating true there. Stephen Avery, if you notice, folks, he's really the only one whose statements have remained consistent throughout the entire process. Why do you think Teresa was pronounced dead before her bones were even identified? I don't know. Probably because the medical examiner is actually a medical examiner by night and an anesthesiologist by day. Rebecca, I'm wondering if you've heard about Anonymous uncovering a phone conversation between Link and Colburn. No, I've not heard about that, but if you have a link, I would really appreciate it. Courtney Owens, can you even see my chat, Casey? Yes, ma'am, I can. It's just I'm going as fast as I can. Jeebus. Tyler, I'm in Iraq. Hi. I'm guessing you're a soldier. Bonnie, love you, darling. I love you too. K. Bowser, write the book to contradict Kratz's book. Kratz's book would be science fiction. And Kratz's book, we all know it's just his spinoff of the 50 Shades of Grey series. I don't see how it stretches it. Ryan gave maps to the search team and purposely sent them away from the salvage yard. That's a good point. Now give me proof. I want to see evidence. And where's I don't know where Scott is, Courtney. I really don't. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Steve, okay, her PDA camera and phone were found in the burn barrel. If it's hot enough to burn her body to bits, yeah, I agree. Courtney, I can see yours. Casey, do you think the reason the family dropped the wrongful death suit is because they know the case is not legit? That's very possible. I think that it's possible that they dropped the wrongful death suit because somebody in there knows something, folks. Barbara, to cremate a body that much, the fire has to be at least 1,200 degrees for a steady 3 to 4 hours. I agree. Hi, Tiger. Ryan sent search team on Wild Goose Chase, printed the maps. I agree with that, Spencer, and there is something very wrong with that. Pam's testimony in the trial mentions a second cell phone. I'll have to go over her trial testimony again, and then I'll let you know on that. Ryan knew the location of the car prior. I think so too, John. I really do. Let's see. Bill, have you seen the video of the business owner who talks about a cult club? No, I have not actually seen that yet. Courtney, what about Scott? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with him. I have not seen anything about hide nor hair of him at all anywhere in the case file except for the one mention of when the police spoke with him and Ryan. Sandy May, isn't there GPS on her phone even if there is not on her car? That's the thing, is that the pings have placed her at the zippers. That's the last time that her cell phone pinged. Sharon, if the bonfire magically was ever hot enough to cremate a body, it would have burned down Stephen's garage. Not to mention, Sharon, there's also a propane tank close to where the burn pit was, and it would have exploded. K. Bowser, Kratz told he changed and is a new man. No, he just ate the new man. Mike, they probably dropped the suit because Zellner is going to prove otherwise. I believe it. I honestly believe that. Sharon, slap the shit out of him for me too. I will. You know, at this point, I think I need to warm my pimp hand up. Becky. Becky, please tell us how much you dislike Jessica McBride and her writing. Was so happy to hear you rip her to shreds. Oh my God. My brain started like seriously having seizures when I started reading her shit. Who the fuck told this girl she could write? And she's billing herself as a criminal writer, a crime writer, something having to do with crime reporting. And I'm going, but you're terrible at it. You are not objective at all. You suck. And apparently more than just at your job. Mike, Kratz would be a blast to take Vicodin and Xanax while harassing women. Well, you go right ahead there, Mike. Anne, thank you, Casey, for all that you have done and continue to do. You're welcome, Anne, and thank you so much for watching and supporting. Bonnie, I think they might ask you to, Stephen and Brendan. They should anyways. I don't know about that. And quite frankly, I'm not really even doing this for any recognition. I just think that people need to be more informed than what they are. And I happen to know how to dissect the information. Courtney, you're in. You're in. Calm down. How much money will the guys get this time? I don't know, but it's going to see. K. Bowser, yes, hard to turn the key with the left hand, right? Did you see what I posted on my timeline? I took a chance, and I have not, Bonnie. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to check. Deanna, is it possible for investigators to find her Facebook information even if it was deleted by someone who needed to hide it? It's possible, although Zuckerberg would that question too. Spence, you have to private chat with me. All right, at some point in the near future, just go ahead and find me on Facebook. You can find me at Casey a Mama Phoenix. Donald Weatherwax, the Colburn call is edited, read transcripts. Donald, if you can get me a link to those transcripts, I'd really appreciate it. Her PDA camera and phone were found in the burn barrel. Yeah, okay, we covered that. Tiger, do you think there is a tie between Scott and Zipper? I asked because Zipper was last stop, but Scott had access to the facilities to burn the body. I think anything is possible. I mean, that's a pretty small town. I'd be surprised if they didn't know each other, to be honest. Barbara, they did edit that call about the license plate. If you listen to the original one, she does look it up. Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's good to know. Who says, I was only repeating my question, adding fuck because someone said we are boring and need to say fuck for you. Clay Chains, there's a lot of info that has yet to be discovered in this case. I agree, Clay, I really do. I really, really do. Julie, the water supply in Wisconsin comes from a magical place. Yes, an oil refinery. Facebook wasn't a thing in 2005, was it? Yes, it was. I know because I had one. I know, I'm boring and a total geek. Ballerin, has anyone seen a report on the diary or journal that was taken from Teresa's apartment? What was in it? I've heard of it, but I have yet to see anything about it in any of the evidence collection reports. Ludema, I'm binge-worthy. Well, thank you. I do my best. I probably should start putting out a lot more than just a couple videos a day. For a while there, I was putting out about 5 a day, and now I'm down to about 2 or 3. And I think you guys are starting to get impatient with me. Sorry. Alma, where did the plates even come from if the RAV4 didn't have plates when it was found? That is an excellent question, Alma. Okay, so the car was found on the south end of the lot. The plates were found inside of a salvage car on the north end, which to me sounds like somebody dumping them on their way out of the salvage yard after dumping the car. Dispatch call was edited in a movie. Okay, good. Good to know. Frank Castle, find me on Facebook with your leads. Okay. Courtney, it is live chat. I keep talking to you. Hi. Samantha, follow the evidence and you will find the killer. As you say, evidence doesn't lie. No, you're right. You are absolutely right. In fact, I have actually put that on some merchandise in my fan merch store. So if anybody is interested in t-shirts or coffee mugs or any of that awesome stuff, I do have a merch store, and I will be putting the link for that merch store on my About page. Wasn't it a valet key? I think that's what they call it. I don't know if it's a valet key or a spare key. Either way, semantics, it's the same thing. It's a spare. Jeff says Toyota started using black boxes in '99. Good information, Jeff. Thank you. Deanna says, even if that was her spare key, it would have had scratches just from being in her damn purse. It was way too shiny and no fingerprints, no fucking way that was her keys. I agree, Deanna. I personally think that Lank or Colburn picked that up at her apartment when they were picking up her toothbrush to rub on a lot of other things. Jared Fogel. Thank you, Jeff. Bill, do you think Bobby Dassey and Jason Zipper were friends? Like I said before, anything's possible. Manitowoc County seems like it's a pretty rural place, so I'd be surprised if they didn't know one another. Deanna, Jared, no subs for you. No, but he's getting plenty of $5 footlongs, isn't he? Sharon, I meant that's why there would be so many casings in response to someone here. We wouldn't fucking use muzzle loaders to pick off varmints. That shit takes forever to shoot. Right? Put it in, pack it down, put it in, pack it down. Mike Applegate, Jared lost an extra 50 pounds. His girlfriend broke up with him. That's great. Let's see. With proper, Courtney says, with proper manipulation, one can get someone to talk. Exactly. With the right amount of pressure, and as long as it's steady pressure, you can get the smartest motherfucker on the planet, and sooner or later he'd be like, fine, I was the second gunman on the grassy knoll. Fuck. Let's see. In a small community, everyone sitting on that jury knew damn well that the guy sitting on the other side knew. I absolutely agree. I agree. What's going on here? Okay. It did it again, guys. Sorry. Hold on. I have to scroll up just a little bit, guys. It did it again. Okay, almost there. Ray Serrano, the Avery Zone 40 acres and Badgerland Aggregates owns 792 acres of land surrounding the Avery property. Once Badgerland shoves out Avery's, they would be whole. Smell some shit? I do, Ray. I do smell some bullshit going on here. And, you know, if that was not the primary motive, I believe it was a secondary. Paula, what do you think? Teresa's family dismissed the wrongful death lawsuit. I do find that suspicious, Paula. I find it extremely suspicious that they dismissed it, but I think it's because they know that Stephen's innocent. Sharon, who were... I'm really confused by that, Sharon. Deanna, I call bullshit. If you want to live in Chicago, you can come hang in Wisconsin. Why are you trying so hard to get me into the enemy territory? Damn. Julie White, is it true that you have to wait 48 hours before you report someone missing? Yes, you have to wait 48 hours before you report an adult. A child you can report immediately. Oh, why didn't Teresa's mom shed a tear on the stand? Courtney asked this. I have no idea. I took acting lessons. I was in theater when I was a kid, and you know, I had to give the eulogy at my brother's funeral, and it was hard for me to rein myself in, and everybody could tell that I wanted to cry, but I didn't. So how she was able to be completely composed is a little weird to me. Maybe they're just not demonstrative. Paula, and the cops were out there all week. Steven knew they were looking. Do you really think he would have left everything there? Yeah, that's a good point, Paula. I mean, Steven doesn't have a very high IQ, but he is not a moron. Sandy would like to know if her phone had GPS, even if her car did not. In 2005, cell phones had very limited GPS capabilities. And so the cell phone ping records would be that version of that. Sydney, can you give me a shout out? Yes, Sydney, hi. Mwah! Steve, thank you. Love your video. And that was my point. Shit was planted. I agree, Steve. Tina, I read somewhere that no ballistics report was presented at trial, only testimony. Thoughts? I have not found any ballistics report just yet, so I will stay on the lookout for that. But until that time comes, I have to agree with you. How the hell do we know for sure those were her fucking bones? We don't. We don't know that for sure, unfortunately, Courtney. Barbara, if your husband likes it, don't no one else matter. You know, you're right, except it gets really annoying when I wake up in the morning and I've got about 10 comments on my videos calling me a pig. And then I'm just like, ugh, really don't even feel like deleting this shit, but I will. Jim, this is awesome. Thank you, Jim. Samantha, screw the haters. After having kids, our bodies are perfect, but really, fuck them. No, thank you. I have a Johnny Depp lookalike as my husband. I'll stay there. Only mine has a much better ass, believe that. Tiger, Paula, I wondered the same thing. I think they dropped it because they knew Avery and Dassey were not actually guilty. Sharon, who called you fat? You look great, 6 kids. Well, thank you, Sharon. I'm actually kind of proud of my figure. I'm not overly active, but you know, with 6 kids, I kind of can't help but be active to a certain degree, always running after somebody. Thank you, Courtney. Hey, you know what, Courtney? I actually, for a while there, was I was over 200 pounds, and only after I was put on Adderall, I'm no longer on it, but only after I was put on Adderall did I drop down to the 160. I think I'm at 170 now. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I really don't care. And I think that's what really gets people is I will eat whatever, whenever. I don't give a shit because my thought process is I have my children. I have my husband. You know, my husband's not complaining. Obviously, we have 6 kids, but, you know, what do I need to diet for? It doesn't make sense. As long as I'm healthy, who gives a fuck? Let's see. Papa Shango, was there a DNA profile on the swabs provided for the EDTA? That's a good question, and I will have to look for that. I'm not 100% on that. Damn straight, Jim. They were on sale. Can you believe it? 4 12-packs for $10. Deanna, what about the theory that she could still be alive? What are your thoughts on the theory that she got paid to help frame them? It's awful to think of, but who knows? Again, Deanna, I don't do conspiracy theories. Right now, I'm going to operate off of her being dead. If she suddenly waltzes in my door and is like, hey, I'm Teresa Hallbach, I'm going to backhand her and then drag her to Manitowoc. Mary Jane, whose fingerprints do you think are on the hood of that car? Well, isn't it obvious, Mary Jane? The killer's. Jimmy, you know that they clearly showed Brendan's lawyer was hurting him, should have been cause for new trial. I can't believe they didn't grant. Oh, right! What the fuck was that? The fact that Kaczynski pulled the shit that he did and they didn't just throw shit out and dismiss the charges, I cannot believe it. Paula, when are you doing another live chat? I've got to go soon. I'll probably do another one in the next week or two. Love you, Bonnie. Courtney, fuck, well, I guess I'll go. Casey, I hope to speak with you soon. I know, Courtney, you can find me on Facebook and I am on Twitter, so feel free to follow me on Twitter, Mama Phoenix 6. Kylie, I'm smoking every time you light up. I binge watch with a glass of wine. Ha! Nice to know. Clay, cigarette and coffee here. My kind. That's right. Incidentally, I love Death Wish coffee. I know I've plugged this a few times, but my favorite is the Valhalla Java, the Odin Force blend. It was designed for Zakk Wylde, who was Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist, and he's now the head of the band Black Label Society, and I love it. Such good coffee, and Zakk Wylde's just awesome. I want Zakk Wylde to adopt me as his niece. Let's see. Sharon, my mom died of lung cancer. As much as I don't want you or your kids to go what we went through, you're an adult. Well, but Sharon, your mom, I hate to say this, but I'm going to die anyway. We all are. And if I'm going to die, I would like to at least know that I enjoyed every single moment of my life, and that includes my cigarettes. You know, this right here is really my only vice. I don't drink at all. I don't do drugs, none, not a scrap of it. I don't go shopping. I obviously don't binge on expensive makeup. This is pretty much it for me, this and coffee. And, you know, if this is what I need to get through my day, it is what it is, folks. Paula. Don't do that. I've had people tell me that it's kind of creepy how much I smoke, and yet my lungs are pretty clear. Although I actually don't smoke as much as I look like I do in my videos. But, cigarettes and cherry Coke here. Nice. Dave asks me, how old are you? I'm 34. Bonnie, what the fuck you said? Who said that to you? Morons. That's the answer, Bonnie. Morons. Sharon, how much evidence has Zipper destroyed in the last 10 years? You know, that is the big question, isn't it? Samantha, on the documentary Making Murder, when the read-off that Steve was found guilty, the look on his face, I know, that's the face of an innocent man. You are absolutely right. He rolled his eyes and you could hear him like sort of sigh, and you just knew that the thought in his head was, of course that's the verdict. What is your background, DNA law, etc.? Okay, so we've gotten into this portion of the evening. My background is, my mother holds 2 college degrees. She holds a degree in criminology and in psychology. And when I was 12, she started giving me her criminology textbooks, and I started studying criminology when I was 12. When I was in high school, I became the captain of my mock trial team. I was captain for 4 years running. I hold several awards for that: 4 most effective attorney in state awards, 3 most effective closing argument in state awards, and 4 most effective overall case awards. I am also the program designer and coordinator of Taos County Teen Court. All the teen court programs you hear around the country, you hear of them. Mine was the flagship program. I was the one who designed that. And I did that when I was 16 years old. I have a degree in criminal justice from the University of New Mexico. And while I was getting that, I was taking workshops and other classes in forensic analysis, so I do have some education in that. I have friends that work in the police department, and I am fortunate to have been able to train alongside them without actually going to the police academy to go into homicide detection. And due to the fact that I write murder thrillers, I have like an open access to the police department, my local police department, in order to write that accurately. So whatever I don't know, I can find out real fucking quick. Let's see. Jeff Jones says, I think Jerry Buting brought up the Zipper residence in trial. He said that there were 2 places to check. Yes, he did bring that up. Kratz objected because he objected on the grounds of third-party liability, and for whatever reason, String and Buting were barred from insinuating anybody but Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey committed the murder. Let's see. Julie White, I was on the DOC website and it says Stephen Avery is 5'11". I thought he was 5'6". And I've also heard that he's only 5'2", so shows how good the record keeping is in Manitowoc County, huh? Frank, because Kratz didn't want the jury to have any other suspects. Yep. Mike, Jeff, there is, yeah, okay. Mike, no interference from the defense while the kangaroo court is railroading the defendant. Pretty much. Sharon, that's not uncommon at trial level, not to muddy and confuse the jury. Not in the rest of the country, Sharon. It's not. That's actually a very effective defense tactic, and that is the first time that I've ever heard of that ever being used in a homicide trial. Bellerin, has anyone seen a report? No. I hope they don't end up offering Stephen and Brendan an Alford plea. Oh my God, right? That's the next case I'm going to tackle, folks, is the West Memphis 3, because while they have been released, they have not been exonerated, and the real killer is still out there. And as a mother of 3 boys, I'm coming for you. Let's see. Manitowoc has her diary. Interesting. Bonnie, my heart goes out to both families. I know. It's. Do you think finding the bones in the quarry was like finding a needle in a haystack? Would there be a record of who found the bones in the quarry? There should be a record, yes. Yes, there should be a record of that. Sharon says on top refers to up on the ridge, right? I believe it does, Sharon, yes. Jessica, how can they sleep at night knowing what they did to Stephen and Brendan? That's the thing, is that I think that they're all sociopaths, to be quite honest. Connie, do you have a phone with a speaker? Maybe that way we can hear John and it won't mess up your video. I do, but that involves me moving, and I'm pretty lazy, in case you hadn't noticed. Bill, my sister's gut says she was killed at the quarry. Cops moved bones. You know, I've considered that, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's how things actually played out. Who do I think deleted Teresa's voicemail? Ryan. I think Ryan deleted them. Her tooth was there. What do you mean you don't know? Tuesday, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Try to clarify it, please. Have you figured out yet if Mike and Teresa are cousins or blood siblings? I actually have not figured that out yet. I don't know. Has anybody here seen Sean Atwood's video about Zipper? He claims Zipper had a buddy on the force. He did. He is related to Kush. Biscuit, that was extremely offensive. And for your information, no, you can't, because I doubt that you could hold a candle to my husband, honey. Believe me. And by the way, I don't do white people. No. I've got a gorgeous, gorgeous Italian as my husband, so trust me, you couldn't hold a candle to my husband. Besides, I doubt it would reach that far. Angelique, does anyone know why Jason is in jail? I don't know, but I have a fan who's looking into that for me. Also, how do we know he wants to talk? Again, I have a fan looking into that for me. Last question, what did they do with the garage when they tore it down? I have no idea what they did with it, and the pics should be uploaded within the next few hours. Jeffrey, is it strange that I don't think it is so strange for Steven to answer the door in a towel? I don't think it's strange at all, to be quite honest. He had a kiddie pool, for fuck's sake, and he even admitted as much. And he said, I was in the pool and I wrapped a towel around myself. Come on. Christopher, was it said somewhere that the phone and stuff in the barrel was smoldering? No, it was not. I have not seen that yet. Jeff, you think Barb had something to do with this if Scott did? No, I don't think that Barb had anything to do with it, but I do believe that Barb knows something. Deanna, I'm geeking now. Let's talk about why you think Kratz's mouth is so stretchy. I don't want to speculate. Industry DJ, why do Teresa Halbach's family appear so narrow-minded to the possibility someone other than Steven killed Teresa? I think that they are so desperate for closure that they're willing to believe anything. How many more signatures are needed? I'm not entirely sure, but sign. Yes, Cindy, this is still live. Thoughts on Earl and Robert Fabian as suspects? The cadaver dog hit on the golf cart they were using to hunt rabbits. I don't know. I have some thoughts, but I don't like to speculate. I like proof. Kratz, has there been any information on, Sandy May, has there been any, has not been arrested for the rape of the woman who reported it? Yeah, they dropped the charge. The OLR dropped the charge. Bonnie, did you see my post after being told I should have this done to me, and after much thought gave this statement? Not yet. Kelly was so quick to imply the incest and the strangeness of the Averys. Was surprised when I learned about Mrs. Halbach. Right! The anonymous group actually denies the claim that they have hacked into anything, which is sad. Isn't Scott T and Jason Zipper's Facebook friend list? I don't know, Sharon, but I'll check. Bonnie. Yeah, I believe it. I believe that you can't burn a car with a bonfire. That's just silly. Tuesday. Well, she wasn't fully cremated, so that blows that theory out of the water. Well, see, Tuesday, have you ever seen cremated remains? I have. My brother was cremated, and there's still bits of bone and whatnot even after they've been in the crematorium. He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car. There, are you happy now? Do you think Zellner could corner Colburn as being the last person to know Teresa Halbach's vehicle? I think she could, Randy. I really do. Jeffrey Barr, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm kind of lost on that one too, Jimmy. Eric Rose, the important part about Colburn called in tags is the lady in the background saying cars here. I would prefer to have enhanced audio on that. Jeff Jones, can you say hi to my wife, Tiffany, please? Hi, Tiffany. This is kind of weird to me, guys. I'm starting to feel a little bit like a celebrity, and I'm not understanding why that is. Apparently, a foul-mouthed, redhead, smoking sailor's daughter is celebrity material. Well, I guess if the Kardashians made it, you know, I got about as good of a chance as they do. Sandy May, forgot to ask if you got copies of the evidence photos I sent you to showing the slippers had been moved. If you would like all the photos, please let me know. I've seen the ones that are released on the StephenAveryCase.org website. If there's any more than that, yes, please do send them to me. Mary Jane, oh, folks. I'm going to put that on a coffee mug in my Cafe Press shop for you all, because that seems to be everybody's favorite saying so far. That one and Blind Monkey fucking a coconut. Sharon, how didn't someone slap Colburn's lying face sitting on? I know. You could tell Buting wanted to though, couldn't you? You could tell because he was doing this, and like I could tell that he was just like. Argh. Tuesday, propane doesn't explode unless you have a leak. Well, you know, how about you go try? Let's see. Let's see here. Yes, it went back again. Sorry, guys. Okay. Miss Hallbach's first husband died after birth of first or second kid. Then she married her dead husband's brother and had more kids. Yeah, that's some Jerry shit right there. Jerry. Maybe Sean Penn could find the real killer. You know, stranger things have happened. Like Kratz. Cindy, what about the handwritten note that said put her blood in his house or garage? That wasn't put her blood, it was put her in his house or garage. What that meant was try to prove that she was there. You people are being buttheads. Bonnie, come on. I mean, Chachi, how can we go about finding out who accessed Teresa's voicemail on the 2nd? That would be a question for a tech person. I'm not really that technical. Yeah, Jeff, having a member of the sheriff's department should be grounds for a mistrial. Jeffrey, about that jury, why were they from Manitowoc County? It should have been moved. I think that I thought that Stevens was from Calumet. I could be wrong. Jeff, let me rephrase that. Having a member of the sheriff's department on the jury should have been grounds for mistrial. I agree. Sharon, I work for the Department of Justice and have police officers in my family, and I get excused from jury duty every time. See? What the fuck, man? Why were the judges the same in the appeals after the conviction? I thought appeals courts were different than the original courts. Does that differ state to state? I think it does. And I think in the smaller counties, they just don't have the funding. Randy, Colburn knew of Teresa Hallbach's vehicle. Well, proof. I need evidence. I'm from Wisconsin. The nature of people is cold and unemotional. Well, that explains a lot. Bill, you are awesome. Lots of love from Canada. My daughter says, hi, her name is Jada. Hi, Jada. I actually have a niece named Jada. So, hi, great name. I just moved from Wisconsin in June, in Minnesota now. I'm in Arizona. Let's see. All right, guys, we should probably start shutting down the questions because it's getting on to be almost 7 o'clock now, and yeah. He listened and deleted something off of it. Okay. Julie, yeah, when you're someone like me who's crass and just doesn't give a shit, I tend to scare people. And when people are scared, they tend to say a lot of stupid shit. So, you assholes don't scare me. I have toddlers and I have teenagers. So, give it your best shot, honey. Plates Colburn called in on the 2nd, were later found in random salvage car. That's absolutely correct, Alma. Randy, did you see my question? I might not have. Sorry. I think Steven would have put the RAV4 in the crusher. That's what I think. Please say he didn't get. I did. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tom. Does anyone know why Jason is in jail? We don't actually know that yet. What about Avery's blood swabbed from his own car and wouldn't have PDTA, possible actual source? That is a possibility, Alma. And I wouldn't doubt if that was it. You guys can go ahead and start dinner. We'll have to make something other than grandma's spaghetti tonight. My mom would say the same thing. I wouldn't say shit to you like the haters. Well, it's theoretical that they're adults. Chances are they're a bunch of 14-year-olds that just sprouted their first pubes. I had stage 3 cancer with an 18% chance of making it 2 years. Next month is my 6th anniversary. I'm cured. Docs told me to not quit smoking. Too much stress on the body. Thank you, Tina. My point exactly. It's different to everybody's body chemistry. I'm just saying. No, of course they're all over you to quit now. Lisa Phillips, I'm a Pepsi and American Spirit girl myself. By the way, have you come across if they tested the mattress? Just rinse it underwater, honey. Steve, we need to focus on the case. You're doing a great job and bringing the truth to light. I'm doing my best, Steve. Doing what I can.
Stephen Avery?
Does bleach really clean blood up so even luminol won't detect it? Actually, bleach will clean up the blood. And here's the thing about bleach with luminol. Bleach will react to luminol exactly the same way that blood does. But instead of seeing blood spatter patterns, you'll see the swipes of where the bleach was rubbed. Teresa's family dropped their lawsuit after Stephen dropped one of his. Well, Tuesday, then give me proof. Show me the link. Jeffrey, Kratz whined a few times about Zipper, and then when defense said someone checked her voicemail, that's not going to do it fast enough. You're going to need to do it in a front on the stove. Is there a documentary about the West Memphis 3? Yes, there are. You can check Netflix or even on YouTube. It is Paradise Lost 1, 2, and then I believe that the third one is Paradise Lost Revelations. I could be wrong on the names. Barbara, there are 3 indigenous boys in Alaska that were falsely accused. Also, they were let out but not exonerated. Well, then send me the information and they'll be one of the cases I tackle next. Sorry, guys, I got a 14-year-old moose over here. So. Let's see. Sharon, it happens here in Oregon. I work for the DOJ and have criminal cases on my desk every day. By the time they're at trial, third-party liability shouldn't be presented. It varies from state to state, but I had never heard of that in a trial, in a homicide trial before. Alfred, please, or crap. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Clay. Sharon, that should have been investigated beforehand. They try not to muddy and confuse the jury. Carrie Jones, lots of West Memphis 3. Yep. My honey is leaving me alone to do my bit. Today is Saturday. It's his day off. And as you all know, Sundays are my days off. So we split up the weekend so each of us has a chance to recharge our batteries. Thank you, Paula. Sharon, UPS and FedEx can tell you about how many people answer their fucking doors. My friend works for phone companies and people answer the door fucking naked. Ha! True. I believe that. Bonnie's up there. How did they know to look at the quarry for bones? Deborah, I have no idea on that just yet. I've been wondering that myself. But now that you've asked the question, I will make sure that we find an answer. John, can you look into that for me, or at least remind me to look into that later? Kratz said his marriage fell apart. I don't think he ever was married. I think he was covering it so people don't know he. Jeff, come on. What happened to Steven's dog Bear? I'm not sure. I'll ask Carla. Sharon, I was referring to the ask why would he answer the door in a towel question. People do it all the time, right? Sharon, you're a superstar now. I don't know about that. That's stretching it a little bit. Watch your butt, hun. Now you're a target. No, I know. Fuck them. If they've got nothing better to do with their time. 58,477 signatures as of 8:54 p.m. Come on, guys. Share the damn petition. Let's get it signed. Let's go. Trying to find the official court documents from the first trial. Thank you, Papa Shango. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Morons. Gotta love it. Sorry, guys. It scrolled all the way down again, and apparently there's an idiot. Do people not have anything better to do with their time? Like, what the fuck? Okay, let's see here. Cars are audio enhanced, making murderer Colburn call solvable. Let me link video and chat. Okay, thanks. Everything's have happened. Don't get strange. Thought trial was in Calumet, but jurors were from Manitowoc. Okay, you might be right on that. And on that, I have no fucking idea. Can someone point me in the right direction? I'm starting to see claims that the DA, James Fitzgerald, and Stevens lawyers had opened the sealed package in 2002. That's what I've heard as well, but it's still that vial should not have been compromised like that. Tina. Casey, thank you for being so selfless and giving many of us what we need to get a handle on things. A hug well deserved from the universe. Aw, thank you. Bonnie, good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Wasn't Colburn asked on the stand if he was looking at the car when he called in the plates? Yes, he was asked that, and his answer was no. Thank you, Barbara. Hi, Stephanie. Yeah, it's only 7 p.m. here in the States. It's actually 7:08. Do you feed your I do feed my children adequately, Spence. And I do a fair amount of cooking, but my boys are actually learning how to cook now, so I'm very fortunate in that my kids will often volunteer to cook dinner as opposed to me cooking dinner. It's called a parental perk, and I've earned it. No, K. Bowser, Brendan said that they used a combination of bleach, paint thinner, and gasoline to clean up the blood, which is hilarious because one of two things would have happened if that were the case. Either A, they would have passed out because paint thinner and bleach makes a synthetic form of chloroform, or B, they would have exploded when they threw the clothes on the fire because bleach and gasoline makes a big kaboom. Guys, don't feed the troll. Just use. Yeah, seriously, hilarious. I hope you can sleep. It's given me many restless nights. Fortunately, my children run me a merry chase, and I have no problem passing out at the end of the day after I unwind watching Da Vinci's Demons with my husband. So I'm well covered on the sleeping. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, Ryan, I wouldn't doubt if it was somebody from Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department doing this shit. It looks about as much as they're capable of. Did you hurt yourself, son?
Remember how last time when I was ice skating, I got
okay.
my pants accidentally pulled off my.
Apparently, the son's ice skating injury is still hurting him. Only thing on West Memphis 3 is Devil's Knot. Oh, okay, good. Although the last time I checked, it was on YouTube.
Now you can try an experiment.
Chris Busey spoke to Stephen. Oh, good. Aww. They do know how to say something other than stupid bullshit. Good for you. You got hooked on phonics. I'm so proud. Moron. All right, folks. Tony, I did do a video about PI Pam. You'll be able to find it. It's on there. Paradise Lost is on YouTube. Oh, good. Revelations was so good. Right. That stepdad was crazy, but he ended up becoming an advocate for them because he figured out that he, wasn't getting it. Isn't that great? What's going on with Andres Martinez? I'm not sure, Tony, but I'm looking into it. Jeffrey, love your videos. Thanks for the chat. Good night. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good night. Saw a video today. Of a drone flying over the salvage yard. That wouldn't surprise me. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for coming in. I'll be doing another Q&A probably next week sometime. Tony, Andres Martinez is the real killer. All right, give me proof. Give me evidence. Give me something. Do you know how much the Central Park 5? Not just yet, but I've heard of them. I mean to look into that. Yes, I'm going to do some more live chats. Wendra, thanks for all you do. Love this. Oh, thank you, Wendra. Ryan, does Zellner have the smoking gun? I'm not 100% on that yet. Have you read Ryan's entire transcript? Want a copy? Yes, I do. Thank you, Spence. Deanna, thank you for coming in. All right, folks, thank you very much for coming to my live chat tonight. I will schedule another one, and you all will be apprised of that when it's been scheduled. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, and we will see you soon. I will be uploading a new video right after this. Good night.